Greetings, everyone. Rev.Hawksblood here, calling from the big island of Hawaii. All right, I want to get into a lot of things, but this is a really important show today. If you listen, please send this to everybody you know, what's going to happen and what is happening. All right, I want to explain who I am, because this whole thing is happening right now. There's a lot of people out there in the UFO world, spiritual worlds, speaking, lecturing. They've been in the business 10, 20, 25 years, and they think they know everything. I've been in this 60 years, just so you know, just where I'm going to start from. I was born in 1952. That was the year a UF fleet came over the White House twice in 1 week. They never did anything about it, couldn't. Didn't explain much about it, couldn't. And it kind of went forgotten, like many other things. All right. They had no explanation for it either. Well, I was brought into the UFO world at the age of 6. It wasn't anything I wanted. I didn't plan on it happening, but I was involved with being in the hospital with my brother. We're both having the tonsils out, and the ship was coming to abduct my brother. Somehow I stopped it. Long story, but I'm not going to get into that. But that's how it started when I was 6. And over the next 10 years, everything started changing dramatically. All right. That was in 1958 when I was in the hospital. All right. For the next 6 years, I was being visited by a deity who I didn't even know what it was really until I was 25. I was seeing multiple UFO things happening as well. All right. Now, I'm one person. I can only say what I know, what I experienced, what I saw, and what I know is true. All right. So a deity that I was working with was a female deity, and I found out who it was when I was 25, and then I worked with 2 other deities after that. Now, let me say this before I get into aliens. Deities are not aliens. Aliens are not deities. Deities are not angels. Angels are not aliens. None of them are the same. Religious people say one thing, spiritual people say another, UFO people say another. Everybody has their viewpoints. There's no viewpoint. You know, you got to state the facts, what they are, when they came about, where they were, what they did when they were here, and what they don't do. All right. Okay, here's the thing. Tesla gave us a lot of weapons in quantum physics. All right. That technology has taken us to a place where we could actually destroy the world right now. The only other thing that they're playing with, which is just as dangerous as the HARP system, is CERN, C-E-R-N. Now, they're not even going to tell you what they did with that. You talk about truth and people coming out with the truth. Now, this is supposed to be when the government comes out and releases their UFO files. Well, a couple of days ago, the Navy came out and said, okay, we have never dealt with aliens and we never dealt with UFOs from another world. All right. And they put a Tic Tac up, which is a pretty lame video for a UFO. All right. And they can't explain it. They can't explain a Tic Tac. Never mind ships and everything else. I'm going to get into that in detail today. All right. If you know what quantum physics is, it's changing reality and it'll destroy our future, present, and past. All right. That's where we're going with that. When you play God, you think you're God, you screw up really bad because you're not. All right. Tesla gave the United States, well, he didn't give them, they took 50 blueprints and everything for 50 weapons. They gave the rest of which we had 200 inventions, and he gave the rest to his country, and they made a Tesla museum. All right. He worked up in New Jersey with DuPont. I'm not going to get into that whole story because it's the most important UFO story never told. Yeah, there's people coming out with drips and drabs of it, people from New York, and real little bits of pieces of it. All right, let's go further. All right, it's going to be a little hard to try to follow everything I'm going to say, but please stick around. You're going to learn something. You're going to understand something. And hopefully you'll be upset and angry and frustrated and all those other words. The U.S. government is coming out on the 26th of this month. Now, they're going to say what their files are about. They're going to probably say the same thing the Navy just said. I'd be totally amazed, even though I would beg and I pray that they would say one little thing. 2 sentences. One, aliens are real, or UFOs are real from another world. Either one of them would change reality completely. And I'll explain that why in a little bit as well. All right. When we have the biggest events and we don't even know what happened. All right. You know, our families go in a program and then they teach their children out of that program. So whatever they're programmed to believe about aliens and demons, angels, and all that, becomes a program in their mind, and they usually don't grow out of it. The Navy just last year came out and asked people to send them all their UFO stuff. And they were asking for people to send it to them. Why? Why would they care if it's not real? And they don't know it's real. You know, when somebody's that lame, stupid, ignorant, something's wrong. Especially when it comes to our government, our people, our armies, our navies are really that bad. I doubt it. All right. The only thing that Trump did, he passed a bill saying that they had to release the files. 6th of this month. All right. That's a good thing. But how much can they release? What are they going to release? If they release everything that I know, the world would be really pretty messed up. They wouldn't be able to deal with it. Oh, well, we can deal. No, you can't deal with what's going on. Can you believe that the United States is allowing or involved with child selling and things like that? Really? Children for body parts? I mean, do you want to know the truth about anything? I'm sure you don't. You'd rather live a hole in the ground and say, everything's beautiful. Really? How beautiful is that? You live in a box, you see a box, you see 4 sides, the top and the bottom. That's all you see. You don't see anything else. All right. Now, when the government comes out and says whatever lies they're going to tell us, what are you going to do? Are you going to say, oh, wow, we never had aliens. I knew it. Or if they say, whatever, are you going to believe it? Do you really think they can come out and say they're working with aliens? They work with aliens. They killed aliens. Aliens killed us. Are they going to say any of that? Do you think they can? All these UFO people going on, speaking, lecturing, attacking the government. Guess what? MJ-12, people, was created by Truman. And they're alive today. And they control the UFO world completely. $5 trillion a year go to them, so I guess they have enough money to do what they need to do. All right? People say money, money, money. There's no such thing as money. What we appear to have and what we say we have are all lies. Nobody ever knew how much gold was in the mint, and nobody still doesn't. Nobody knows how much of the gold in the mint is even real gold. They showed one room once. And, I mean, it's not like they tested it or anything like that while they were in the room. Well, to protect myself, which I do, I say, I'm crazy, go insane. Most everybody else is sane, going insane. So think about that. Where would you rather be? All right. They're going to be lying to lots of people, calling lots of people crazy. Over the past 25 years, Sargel 18 and I personally put pictures up from 96 to 2002, and then we did it again 2 years ago. For 9 months on Kerry Cassidy's show, we put up pictures every week of UFOs that we shot. Not composed pictures, not made-up pictures, all real photographs. Some of the ones he put up, I'm not going to agree with. because myths and things like that are a little bit hard to believe or accept. But the actual ships, we shot more different kinds of ships than anybody else. All right. And we put them up. We put them out there. We lectured around the United States with Global Sciences. If you want to check it out, it's real. Mr. Sargel was probably the most recognized UFO person at that time, even though all those big name speakers were out there with no proof, just stories and their mouth going off. All right. I'm not a person that likes to attack people. Oh, yes, I am, especially when they're lying. All right. We put up real pictures. Kerry Cassidy never even watched one show that we did in the 9 months that we were doing it. All right. When we were lecturing around the United States, we went to state every year. And believe it or not, usually one person was killed coming to a seminar during the year, every year. Well, we were warned the night before we went. We got a letter saying, stop and desist. You have no right to interfere with what's going to happen. Sit back and watch. This is not a threat. It's just a warning. Really? And a lady that was there, she was the granddaughter of Ulysses S. Grant, who started it, the New World Order. She wrote a 1,500-page book, and she was out there, and they told her if she puts that book on the table, they'll kill her children. She was there. And there was a lot of people that were there. There was a person that had the antidote for something, and he was arrested at the airport. They didn't want the antidote out because they were trying to push a disease. All right. Now, are you ready for the truth? Do you want to deal with the truth? Are you going to expect the truth? Do you really think that Trump did the right thing? I think he did the right thing, but it's not going to make the right thing happen. All right. Today, I stopped the show with Kerry Cassidy because they wanted to charge me $50 a week to do the show. I wasn't making money doing it. And I wasn't about to pay that kind of money. But we had an incredible following. We had 1,000, 20,000, 50, 1,200, 1,400 people tune in the next day if they couldn't watch it. We had about 50 to 60 people in the chat room every night. We did the show. We gave away things even, which nobody ever did. We made sure that they watched the show, and we asked questions, and if they could answer the question, they would get a gift sent to them. I mean, even a piece of the moon rock and a lot of different things Mrs. Sargel sent out to them. All right. Now, let's get to Stephen Greer, the big man of disclosure. He keeps talking about a fake alien invasion. He's got a lot of people agreeing with him, saying we're going to have a fake alien invasion. For that to happen, the government would have to admit that UFOs are real. How can you have an invasion if something's not real? Oh, they're not real, so how can we have an invasion of them? It's a sick joke. All right. We're not going to have a fake invasion. You can't fake an alien invasion. I mean, really, in this day and age. I don't know if you know the story about, what year was it? Well, before I was born, it actually happened. H.G. Wells did a movie, the War of the Worlds. And he did it on the radio, and people started committing suicide in New Jersey because they were naming all the streets and the places and everything in Jersey. They said it's coming up the Hudson River, and some of the old people couldn't deal with it. But it was on Halloween, and they only mentioned it in the very beginning that this is a hoax. It's only going to be mentioned one time, and they never said it again. And then all for the next 2 hours or whatever, you would believe that the story was really happening. All right, I'm not going to go into that, but was a long time ago. People were naive, and they only had a radio. All right, that was the only connection to the real world. All right, now, if this happens and the government comes out saying, Congress will probably release a statement or whatever they're going to say, they will be calling all whistleblowers, the government people that came out, the astronauts that came out, all the abducted people that came out, all the pilots that came out, all the normal people that film ships, crazy. And I'm telling you, In the 50s, it might have been a couple hundred people that were aware and willing and all that. But now it's in the millions. And they're going to turn around and call those people crazy. Remember, if one person was abducted by aliens, guess what? It's real. And in the UFO world, these people don't even want to talk about that. They just want to talk about attacking the government. I don't know why. They did their thing. They're doing their thing. They had wars with aliens and they're protecting the world. I want to explain a little more about that in a second. But the lies they put out are ridiculous. They call ships swamp gas, balloons, natural gas release. And in space, it's just space debris. I filmed a ship here in Hawaii. It was going across the sky, and then it shot out these 3 ships. And they said it was Russian space debris from a 1954 space shuttle. Really? Shooting flames out and shooting rockets out of it? Really? All right. Now, the video that I'm going to show, there's a video link put up. It's 1997, I think it was. Strange Universe. I'll watch it. We put a video up of a ship shooting ships out of it. Alive, real. They took the show off the air the next week. John Ford was arrested and put in a nut house. We'll get into that. But when they call things in space, everything's space debris. Or it's just strange phenomena. Strange phenomena. Because they can't explain it, they just call it strange, and then we don't have to talk about it. Yes, there's so many people out there that like to trick people. Fake UFOs and fake stories and fake aliens, fake ghosts, fake everything. But they probably don't believe in a God. They have no clue about a real God. They feel they can do whatever they want, say whatever they want, pretend and lie to anybody they want, and get away with it. Thinking it's okay. Oh, it's only in fun. Well, they don't know what the word karma means, and they will find out someday soon. Including these UFO speakers, these spiritualists that claim they're spiritual. Now, people, listen to this. This is very important, people. Nobody listens. Nobody. Call the White House up. Tell Biden to talk to Putin about aliens. Seriously. Now, I'll explain that. On Russian TV, it was 3 or 4 months before Trump was elected. Before he was elected, that he wanted Trump to come out, explain what happened at 9/11 really, and he wanted him to explain about aliens and UFOs. He was asking Mr. Trump to do that before he was president. Why would he ask him that before he was president? You decide. All right, then what happened? Mr. Trump meets Putin. Oh, let me put one other thing in there. Putin said after that, we are dealing with 27 alien races. 2 of them want to destroy the planet. Putin said that on Russian TV. Where did it go? Probably nowhere. People are too messed up, no money and no jobs and everything else. And now with the virus, they can't think for themselves about anything. All right. What would 2 races trying to destroy the planet really mean, people? Think about it. How would they do it? Not just blow it up. See, here's the thing, people. Oh, if they wanted this, they'd do it. If they wanted that, no, they wouldn't. If you need a planet and you don't want 7.4 billion people, what do? You eliminate the people. And what's the government doing? Eliminating the people. Are they working? Is any of it working? No, not yet. We're still producing more children in a day that are than are dying. 150 die every day. 300,000 are born every day. So guess what? They're still determining that there's more people being born than dying. But it's easier for people to forget the truth than deal with it. All right? Nobody cared about 9/11. Nobody wants the truth. And it's gone, it's hushed. How many years went by? And nobody knows what happened. Oh, well, what? How did the third building blow up? How did the White House, Pentagon? Well, here's the thing. When the strange rocket that hit, and then the other rockets that hit the Trade Center, how real were they? How real was the whole situation? What was really happening? How did it happen the way it did? Nobody can explain any of it. When the White House was attacked, what happened? Anybody can explain anything about it? All right. Did they help the Native people ever? No, let's forget what we did to them and let's not even care. So if they can't care about people, why would they care about aliens? We didn't see any. I didn't see any. I don't know any. All right. Well, I hope you're getting my drift here. Anyone that wants to see a UFO and never did, please, I'm giving a free manual away. How to see a UFO field manual. It's about 200 pages. I got a little bit of stuff in there about why you would want to see an alien and what it would mean to you and all that. But how to see a UFO, the things you need to do. And I promise you, you follow the simple guidelines, you'll see a UFO within a week or a month, max. I could go out any night and see UFOs. I filmed one last night, a giant ball of light. I saw a little ship going by, and then this big light came by. I hit it with a flashlight, and it didn't do a thing. And then I hit it with a laser, and then it just disappeared. All right, not a satellite, people. All right, don't let them tell you everything you see in the sky is a satellite, because it's not. All right, now here's things you should know. All right, what my book will teach you. Satellites are small, very small. They're making them smaller and smaller. They're about they could be down to a size of a lunchbox even right now. All right, but the biggest one was the size of a trailer. Imagine putting that way out in space and see if you could see it. Really? Remember, if light's hitting something, when it moves, but depending on where the light is, would determine where the sun or the reflection of the sun coming from to hit it. But then again, no satellite can travel at the speeds UFOs do, very close to the speed of light. Not the speed of sound, the speed of light. We filmed them traveling at that speed. And I'm talking about on a 300 frame, you'll see them for 3 frames, and that's it. So yeah, they're traveling fast, and you have to look at if it's going across the whole horizon. But they can be as small as a little matchbox, which is not common. But like I said, most of them are small now, and they're making them smaller every day. With the new cell that they're putting in people, guess you're not aware of that, and I'm not going to go into that. That's a whole different subject. Okay, they cannot travel at the speed of light. So when you look at a sky and you see a ship coming along and you watch and it just shoots out, it's not a satellite. They don't change speed. They can't reverse. They can't go sideways. They're in an orbit, people. You know what an orbit is? Same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over. All right, now you got all these UFO people talking about aliens and UFOs and everything, and that most of them never even seen one, never even got close to one. How do you talk about an alien if you never got close to one? I did. I wouldn't be talking about anything I am if I didn't have the experience with it. Not like these foolish people telling stories about Area 51, Roswell, and things that are so many years old. Let's get with the facts. What's happening now, people? Much more dangerous. That was 2 people. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of people weekly. And the government's not saying a word about it and not doing a thing about it. Why? You need to ask yourself, what do you believe? Do you care? I don't. You want to go to Mars? Really? You think that's going to happen in your lifetime? You're going to go to Mars? And what are you going to do when you get there? All right. Now, aliens played God for a long period of time. The Aztecs, the Mayans, they were following aliens. They weren't following a God. It was easy to pretend you were the word God, not that that was the word used then, but the word of being a powerful being. If you could do a magic trick, you were considered a god. In the Mayans, what they did to people when they reincarnate, when they were going to reincarnate, check it out. They did ridiculous things every which way. And if you had any kind of a brain, any kind of an awareness, you would know that's not what you would do to a skeleton to reincarnate back into it. Or a box to reincarnate back into the box. Or premature burial was about something like that. An old Munster movie. Check it out. He thought he had this disease where you die for, it looks like you're dead for a while and you come back. So he made his coffin so he could get out of it if they buried him alive. And it was interesting because at that time, we didn't have cures for those kind of sicknesses or diseases and things like that. And they didn't know much about them. But when Atlantis was destroyed, aliens came here to play God. Not make us. They didn't make us, people. You could believe all those twisted people going around talking about the Anunnaki like they know them and they're friends with them and they're all doing this and they did that and they made us. They didn't make us. And people, it's going to be hard for you to accept. We're not one race. The human race is not one race. The black race is not the white race. The white race is not the yellow race, and the yellow race is not the red race. They are different. I'm just trying to read what's in the thing. Somebody's talking about satellites. He's talking about the size of a satellite. You know how much a trail filled with metal stuff would weigh? But again, they're not big satellites. When there's thousands, I'm talking hundreds of thousands of satellites flying around the planet, and Mr. freaking Mush wants to put a bunch more up there, like 26,000 more to cover the whole planet. When he first put them up, we could see them. Let me get back to where I was going. All right. So the Mayans believed in different races of gods, but they were aliens. So again, when you talk about what we're doing, prove it. When the government says anything, it's probably 90% a lie. When they show you a new plane, it's 25 to 50 years old, people. Anything. Oh, this is a new ship. Oh, we got the biggest ship. We have the biggest submarine. We have the biggest plane. Okay. Do you have a clue what's on it? Nobody does. The weapons and technology that are on them could destroy the planet. Just so you know. How do I know? Think about it. All right. But you don't know or believe that the government was working with aliens. And they're not going to come out and tell you that next week or the week after. They can't. Because they gave up a lot of people for that to happen. It was called the barter system. We give them something, they give us something. That's the only way things happen on this planet. If a country doesn't give you anything, we don't take care of them, we don't support them, we don't do anything for them. Look at Tibet, people. Begging for help for years. Nobody helped them. China went in there and destroyed the cities, the temples, killed and raped a lot of the women, killed a lot of the lamas. And nobody cared. And the Dalai Lama was hiding out in Canada. He can't go back. They'd kill him as well. But nobody helped. We're talking about the human race. Now, what if an alien race did come here to attack us? I mean, using us is one thing, which they have been doing, but to attack us straight out? The Pleiadians themselves said they would attack us if we shoot one more of their ships down. A good friend of mine died doing a show with Jesse Ventura, died 2 days after. But he worked on the ships that Billy Meyer's friends came from, where they came from, the Pleiades. But they're called the Pleiadians. But they're us from the future. All right. Now, this is something I want you to think about as well. There's a person named John Ford. He's in Long Island, in a nut house. He's been in a nut house since 1996, the year that we did the TV show called Strange Universe. That was the year the UFO world took the biggest hit ever. They went after hundreds of people, killing them. A lot of people disappeared. John Ford was arrested saying he had uranium, a barrel of it, and was going to kill people in Congress. We're going to put uranium inside their toothpaste. How do you take uranium and put it inside toothpaste without dying? Seriously, people. It was all over the New York news, TV, and Jersey. And the stupid people believe it and let it go. Don't ask questions. He's still in that house. Can't get out. Can't go to trial because he shot the best video of a ship crashing. Nobody shot anything close to that. All you UFO idiots, fools, ignorant people, get him out of the nut house. Let him release his film that he shot a long time ago. And you'll see a ship, not a question mark, because the government came in there. They set the island on fire for 2 weeks. It's flatland. It can't burn for 2 weeks. Black trailers went in and out of there. I don't know if you know this by law or not. If a UFO lands in the United States, the police and the fire department have to block the area off and cannot let anybody inside it. But they can't go inside it. All right, just something you should know, and it's in their police files when they become a cop, when they become a fireman, and they read it. Not that they'll ever talk about it or care. All right, John Ford, he's doing some bad things in jail. Like he's still buying UFO magazines. You're not going to believe he's sane if he's doing that. But in the interim, he was supposed to go to trial almost every year. The government comes in and says, oh, no, we have to reevaluate him, meaning they're going to leave him in jail in the nut house for another year before he goes to trial. And then they're going to prove that he had a barrel of uranium? Really? The government doesn't have a barrel of uranium. All right. Anybody going near him was threatened, which I was. I was working in a friend's. I went to a friend's house, and he had 2 FEMA people working there, and they had about 200 computers monitoring a lot of things. And they told me, they said, if you think about going near Phil Snyder, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. If I go near John Ford, they will kill my family. So, and that was a long time ago. That was like 96, the end of 96. All right. Phil Snyder was killed that year as well. Found dead. Oh, suicide. No, killed. Big difference. Do you know anything about Phil Snyder? He was lecturing for a couple months. All right. Read his story. I'm not going to go over it. Read it. It's the second most important UFO story that ever happened. Not Roswell and not Area 51. Because nobody knows what's going on at Area 51. Except Sean David Martin. I'll say that in a second. All right. You want to believe in God, do you or don't you? Do you believe in aliens? Why not? Do you believe in deities? Why not? Do you believe in ghosts and spirits and demons? Why not? Because you didn't see them, you didn't have an experience with them. It's probably the only reason. And if you did, you might believe in it. or you would believe in it. Again, I will give you a manual, how to see a UFO, if you're interested in seeing a UFO, not a satellite. You'll see satellites once in a blue moon because they're small. And wherever they are, think about where the sun is, where it could be hit by the sun's reflection and all that baloney. How far up are they? There's a tracking system online where you can pull up all the satellites, where they are, when they are. I could go out in any early morning and see about 20 satellites when the sun's coming up. But before that, I'll see a lot of UFOs doing strange things, moving, stopping, disappearing. I hit it with the camera, they disappear. I hit it with a laser, they change color. Really? Again, most UFOs have lights and have different things on them. Don't ask me how they could light up a whole ship, which is a strange thing because none of our ships would light up the whole ship with some kind of light, because they're dealing with a different kind of energy, different kind of pulsating system that runs the ship and all that. But we're not going there. We don't need to. We need to go on what Mr. Biden is going to allow to happen and what is Congress going to say. Anything important. My whole life was revolving around this. Sure, I'm called crazy. You mention a UFO, you're crazy. I went to court with the phone company. They said I was heard on a UFO, trying to, because they think I said that, and they figured they didn't have to pay me if I admitted I was heard on a UFO. But during that time frame, the judge said, I want to see your UFO pictures. And he asked me to show them to him, the judge. And then after the people left the courtroom, he told me he was in a car with his wife. And the car stopped, and there was a light over, and then the car froze. This is the lawyer. I mean, are these people crazy? I guess they are, according to the government, because there's no real UFOs and aliens around here. All right. Please, people, I'm not doing this show because I feel like it. Now, when you go out there, you can see a lot of things shoot across the sky. Meteorites, asteroids, comets. How do you know anyone is any one of those things? Because of the tail it leaves. I mean, they tried to blow up a meteorite, and it didn't work. They landed on and put a... What's going to happen next? Are they going to come out and say, hey, UFOs are real? It would be nice. But then are people going to be afraid? Are they going to start looking for them? I hope so. They need to see what's happening right now. The sky's lit up with ships more so than ever. And you need to be aware of that. And what are they doing? Flying around the world for what reason? All right. There's always a reason to do something. Whether you understand the reason or not, it doesn't matter. If you're watching this show, you'll see the link. It's https://lnkd.in/g big y u big m y big. All right. If you go into the site, you'll be able to see it. Pull it up. Click on it. It'll show you a video of Strange Universe. The preview of the show we were doing when we released the video of a ship shooting 3 ships out of it. 1996. We shot more videos than any other person in the United States of UFOs and ships, creatures and entities and everything else along the way. All right. Sadly, we had to break up again. We did it we did it for 10 years, and we got together. We got back together. But he came into money, and he disappeared. He always told me if he ever had money, he would pull out of it or hide. Because he did work for the government at one time. The government cannot admit to too many things. All right. They don't want to show how much they lied to us. Truman knew everything. Now, when he created MJ-12, it was to create a group of people that would stand by the laws and keep it a secret. Anybody that stepped out of place was killed or disappeared. All right? Eisenhower had to keep it going. Eisenhower wasn't so keen on what was going on and all that stuff. Because when they had the alien in the White House and all those kind of things, nobody wants to hear that. Are they going to admit any of that? No. The UFO people don't know because they don't know the people that were involved with that. A whistleblower is somebody comes out and saying something with zero proof. Not one person came out with an alien. Stephen Greer had this thing and he called it an alien for a year when they found out it wasn't. And Stephen Greer is still going on about this fake alien invasion. All right, here's something. Now, Truman was president, and then Eisenhower became president. But Tricky Dick was his vice president for 2 terms. Do you know what that means? He knew everything. If we could have only got him to talk. And I wish he would have did something when he was president. Who knows what he did or did not do. But he could have came out, could have broke the evidence. All the people were killed and taken out that were going to talk about the president. I mean, that was around the president or with the president. That was going to talk about aliens and UFOs and all that, including Marilyn Monroe. She had the documents. She was going to release the story that Kennedy told her. The week before, she committed suicide. In the UFO world, if you're going to tell the truth, you're going to commit suicide. That's how you usually die. I'm going to say 8 of my friends disappeared, not died, and 2 of them disappeared. A whole family disappeared. One of them's in a nut house. One of them's in jail. A friend that I'm not close to or wasn't close to is in jail. He was in the Navy, and he was going to release their UFO files. And they framed him for killing a person. Framed him for killing a person. And he's in jail. His family gets to see him once a month. But he's in jail because he was going to talk about UFOs back then. Now, people, I tried to get a little bit of information out there about what's real, what's not. I've been in this all my life. I was next to a Bigfoot. I was a foot away from a Bigfoot. I was 12 feet away from an alien. I was about 150 feet from a ship coming to abduct my brother. I was there. I had witnesses a couple of different times, even when I was Bigfoot. Probably going to expose Bigfoot very soon. What's it going to do? Make people want to go out and hunt, or not go out into the not go out into the woods and hunt? We'll see. We'll see where that's going. Bigfoot expedition right now is so close to showing them. I mean, they're screaming. They see their homes. They see their footprints. They see them registering, but they're going to prove that they can disappear, and that's why the government's not going to talk about them. So there's a lot of information coming out. Caroline Corey did a movie, Among Us. Watch it. It's sad because the whole movie makes it look good that aliens are among us. Meaning a father said to the army, okay, you can implant my wife, and they had an alien implant her. They made aliens, clones, or whatever word you want to call them. People that lost their children to them, and they were brought back. I mean, there's all these scenarios which they're trying to prove is real, but they're trying to make them sound good. Why would you want to do that? No alien race is here to make us better. No alien race is here to make us better. To help us do anything. What could they help us do? What they're doing, make more weapons. Make more ships. 2 ships you should check out. They're probably covered over many times over. The Aurora and the Delphi. Both can go to Mars. And they came out a long time ago. All the triangle ships, most of them are our government. I was in Hawaii, next to the bank at the end of town, and this giant triangle ship came right up out of the mountain, and on the side of it, super noisy, people. It almost blew my eardrums out. Both of my cameras didn't work. and it was gone in about 4 seconds. From ground to disappear in the sky. Now, how fast could that be? All right, you talk about rocket speed. All right. And then when I went into town, I asked a lot of people, did you hear that noise? Did you hear that noise? What noise? What noise? And they didn't even hear it. So whether you had to be directly under the ship to hear it, because it was directly above me, when I heard it. I'm filming ships right now. I filmed one 2 nights ago. I didn't even download it from my camera. Everybody I know is seeing UFOs and ships and everything else. All right. Last month, there was a video up. It's online right now. Hawaii, hundreds of people see a giant UFO satellite. No, it's a UFO. They're going to call it. It's a picture of it. It's fairly close. Within 3 weeks, 3 different people told me they saw a mothership in Hawaii over the area where I live, meaning over a block long. There's a picture that NASA shot. Not NASA. The observatory shot. It was up online. Looks like a bunch of blinking lights forming a shape of a UFO. But I don't give that too much credit because I don't know the person that shot it, and I wasn't there and all that. But the people that I saw, they were supposed to give me a picture of the ship that they said they saw. I really got to get in touch with them again. There's so much going on here in Hawaii, and I'm sure it's no different anywhere else. This Stardust Ranch, I'm not friends with them anymore, but if you want to go to a place where you'll see UFOs, creatures, entities, anytime, got a couple weeks, or you want to go there for a week or 2, get in touch with them. He'll let you stay, give him some money. He's got 19 horses to feed. But be surprised if you see an alien standing next to you, which I did. I brought Kerry Cassidy out there. She filmed the ship over his house. I brought a photographer with me. We shot an alien walking right up to the camera. The other one, the camera didn't work when it was walking towards us, and then it just blinked out. Can any of these other UFO people go on? And I could go on about 100,000 more stories, but it's not about my stories. It's about the government stories and what they're going to give us. Not me. I know it's real. Just I don't want to die and know that my whole life most people think I'm crazy. And that aliens were never here. They're not real. When people, it's the realest thing. It's more real than God, Jesus, Moses, or any of those people because they're here now. Actively interfering. God doesn't interfere with this planet. That's why it created angels and deities. And you think it comes down here. Why would it? Would you walk through the ghettos of a sewer plant, whatever you want to call it, with no shoes and just because you felt like doing it? No, I sure hope not. God wouldn't want to put its feet on this planet, if you want to call it something. If it brought its energy down here, this world would explode, people. When people talk about higher energy, you're tapping into the energy that's coming down through all these worlds to this realm. It's the lowest form of that energy. The dimensions and all that is of this reality, people. Not God's worlds. Very few souls are going to be gifted enough to get away from the astral plane. And never mind, not reincarnate again. If you wanted anything important in this lifetime, which nobody seems to care anymore, I mean, they've been trying to destroy every aspect of God at every level. Pray to whoever you want. Pray to whatever you want. But you can't pray out loud and you can't pray to God publicly. Really? All right. God is real, people. God's the only thing that matters. Because if God blinked and said everything's gone, guess what? Everything might be gone. Every single soul that exists. All right. Now, there's different realms and worlds. I'm going to be doing a workshop, people. A really hardcore workshop. From birth, life, to death, to reincarnation, or to leaving the lower realms. When you get into every aspect of that, everything you need to do, people, it's not a free handout, coupons, magic ticket, or anything like that. No, it's called work. And working, doing your job, taking care of your children is not work finding your spiritual truth. Doing hardcore drugs all the time isn't finding your spiritual truth either. There's ways to go about it. Things you have to do, things you need to learn. I tell you, the most important thing you need to learn is learn how to leave your body. Not remote viewing, people. That's evil, and it's karma. Astral projection means you're projecting in your astral body, which is the body that you'll be when you let go of this body. All right. Soul travel, which means you're traveling as soul, which means you could go to higher realms, but you got to get past the astral plane first to do that. All those things are much more important than talking about which alien is going to come down here and help us do what. Talk about how they helped us, how they created us, how they brainwashed us, programmed us. What do you think can change to make this world better? Love? Sex? Either one of them? You think it's going to make this world better in any way? It's making it worse. The perversions of those two words have gone, I don't think there's ever going to be a limit, but it's amazing how far it already went. And to think love is the answer for anything, it is not. Aliens are the answer for anything? Of course not. Are they going to help us in any way? No. The good race are very few. The ones that are bad, maybe not as many, but they're the ones that control everything. It's like you got an army. Who's more important? Who's more powerful, the people or the army? Well, the army's got all the weapons. We don't. So this is for your own good. I'm doing a show to make you think about what's going to happen if you hear the same story. We never saw aliens. We never worked with aliens. There's no UFOs here from other worlds. It's all from Russia, China, Japan, China go back to India, maybe. Who knows? They're going to go to all the countries and try to pin it back on them. China is playing games. Germany was playing games. They made satellites, but they couldn't do anything. So, people, I'm going to cut it short. Just want you to think about what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. Go to the UFO conferences and listen to the bull they're going to tell you and the stories. These people smiling. It's not a funny thing. It never was. It's not a happy thing. Never was. Nobody makes millions of dollars from an alien and does good things with it. Many people think they're spiritual when they get abducted. Suddenly they write books on healing and suddenly they're a healer. Healing's another fake word in this reality. It's called karma that they're creating for themselves. And they're playing with another person's. It doesn't take a complicated person to do that. But you convinced him that he doesn't have the power, that he needs you. And then you make the money off of it. It's sad, people. Spiritual people cannot charge for what they do. Nobody that walks a spiritual path can. I mean, even pipe carriers, they have to do a prayer wherever they're asked to do it. Period. Not getting paid. Might get a donation or not, but they're not doing it for money. Spiritual things cannot be done for money, otherwise it loses its spiritual connection. So all these idiots, sorry, I don't know, I could say a lot worse names, thinking they're spiritual. I haven't met one spiritual person on this planet today. I met cool people, but the word spiritual, nobody. I challenge any one of you to send this to anybody that you think smart, spiritual, any of those other words, to debate me on God and the word spiritual. What does it mean? Think about it. You can't tell me what it means. Oh, it means what? You send love to the world. You donate a couple dollars here and there. What's it mean to you, really? What's being spiritual? Being a higher dimensional being, which is bull. You're not a higher dimensional being if you're in the physical body. The lies, and the lies you hear and are programmed with are disgusting, deceitful, evil. And the ones that preach it, push it, teach it, program it, are more evil than anybody else on this planet. They're not spiritual beings. All right, people. You heard it here. All right. Okay, people. I'm glad you're listening. I know it's late, probably wherever you are. But the problem is, this is going to happen in 2 weeks, people. Get ready to listen to a bullshit story. All right. Here's the thing. When it comes out and they say, well, we never met with any alien race, they're lying. They never dealt with UFOs. They're lying. And if you accept that, and that's the most important facts that would change reality that has never existed before. All right. We're talking about aliens, not a god, like the gods that the Egyptians work with, or the Mayans and those kind of people. They're working with deities. I'm talking about alien races, brainwashing, programming people. All right. It's happening. Something's going to happen. Whether you believe in the Bible or not, we're really close to the end times and Revelations. How real Notre Dame was is another story. We'll see. I don't think we can go much longer. We have no morals. Zero morals. That means no control. If you think of God, you have nobody can tell you anything different. So we're bad. We're really bad off, people. Think about it. We're in trouble. And if the government comes out and is not willing to step up their program and help and get more involved and let us get involved, nobody wants to talk about ghosts, demons, entities, and all those other things either, which are manifesting by large numbers now because of CERN. Do your research. What do you think they're doing when they go into these other dimensions in this reality? All the garbage entities, creatures, and things exist within that. And they're bringing them here. Now, if you watch all the ghosts, last sentence, if you watch all those ghost shows and extra special people, extrasensory and things like that, and what they're dealing with, check it out. They're talking to aliens, talking to ghosts, talking to spirits, talking to you name it. Really? What's going on? Something is. Well, people, you could believe it's all fake. I'm just one of those victims. I had it and I was stuck in it all my life. I can't hide from it. And I'm not going to die lying about it either. I would love to see the truth come out before I do die, even if it's just saying aliens are real. Now, there's all these other people saying it and believe it and everything else. But our government, when you go to a psychiatrist and you say you're automatically crazy. Sorry, people, that's the way it is. If aliens were real, guess what? You could say you were abducted. If they admitted demons were real, you could say you were possessed. Which they do, kind of. It's temporary insanity, but it's called possession. All right, people. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your night. Send this link to everybody you can, because I'm open for debate with anybody out there in the UFO world, speakers that have any balls to step up to what they believe and say. They don't. They can talk, but they can't prove a thing or even admit anything is real because they don't know. They can't talk about the wars we had in space because they don't know. Why don't they know? They don't have the right connections. They're not dealing with the right people. You deal with the highest people first, then you go to the lower people. When you want healing, you want help, you go to the highest angel. You don't go to the lowest one. You don't go to kindergarten school teachers to ask for how to solve a nuclear physics problem. People, are you aware where you are, what you do, and why you do it? I don't think so. But if you listen to the government, you're going to be just as ignorant as you are today then. If you know what happened at 9/11, any clue? Really? I doubt it. All right. Peace, love, compassion, whatever you need in your life. Hope you get it. Till next time.